I had the worst hangover of my life. Instead of nursing it in the cocoon of my bed as usual, I was surrounded by family and friends and preparing to bike with 9 other riders from Holland, Michigan to Grapevine, Texas, 1,100 miles in 11 days. My bags were being loaded into a van, and the motorhome going with us was being stocked with food and water. Ride for Life 2010 was almost ready to go. This was the real deal. I was in way over my head. There was no way out. I was going to be detoxing while riding a bike 100 miles a day. I was on this ride for all the wrong reasons, most of them selfish. I signed up to free myself from my destructive ways. Plus, I would surely lose weight in the process, the ultimate motivator for all women. But I didn't reap any of those benefits. Instead, I was nursing a terrible hangover and hadn't lost an ounce since I started training for this insane bike ride. Why did I always find myself in these predicaments with no visible way out? Actually, there was a way out of this one. Coming clean to everyone and admitting that I was an alcoholic coming off a 3-day binge that ended earlier this morning. I was incredibly hungover, possibly still inebriated, and just needed to go home to bed. But there was no way I was going to confess that to anyone. I guarded my secret so closely that I was choosing to suffer through 100 miles a day on a bike rather than expose myself. How did I get here? Why didn't I just go to meetings like everyone else who drank too much? I always chose the hard way to do things. This time, it was more to impress others than to heal myself. Always an I'll show them way of thinking. Instead of following a more conventional path to sobriety, I signed up for a fundraising bike ride from Michigan to Texas. Surely there was an easier way. But when I remember who I was when I received the invitation to join this trip, an overweight, out of shape, non-athletic, supposedly drying out alcoholic, there is no doubt it was a God thing. It certainly wasn't the method I would have chosen to get sober, but here I was. 3 months earlier. My husband, Craig, and son, Lauren, were going on an Alaskan cruise without me. We had won the trip through our business, but I would not be going for several reasons. For one, our younger daughter was graduating from 8th grade, and her graduation was during the cruise. I hope she someday recalls that it was Mom who stayed back from an Alaskan cruise for her 8th grade graduation. I promised Craig that I wouldn't drink while he was gone, and I meant it. I don't know what made that time different. I wanted him to have a good time without worrying about what was happening at home. Craig had no reason to believe that I would keep my promise this time. I'd broken so many in the past. Truth be told, I was grateful for a valid excuse not to go, even though I didn't voice that to my family. Based on past experience, I knew I could not handle a cruise where the drinks were free and flowed 24/7. We had been a part of this business group for most of my adult life, and many of the members knew I'd officially quit drinking. I was supposed to be sober. If I went on that cruise, I knew that I would drink, and it would be 10 days of secrets, blackouts, and hiding games. So my son went instead of me. Plus, the trip took place over his 21st birthday. I couldn't go along and celebrate a birthday that was all about drinking when I couldn't drink. My son could, and others would buy him shots, and I would watch and salivate. That party would have to go on without me. They left. I battled depression. Why did I make that promise to Craig not to drink? I wasn't working, and I'd cut myself off from any social life. I just didn't know how to do life socially, sober. It was easier to be alone. I woke up each morning in darkness and stayed there. I spent the first 3 days getting my daughter off to school each morning, and then doing absolutely nothing but attending my personal pity party. It was an easy party to get ready for. No shower or makeup, yesterday's clothes. I just made myself presentable by the time my daughter Olivia came home from school.